Okay, in this tutorial we're going to be looking at some basic movements using keyframes and some effects controls. If we head straight back in, this is where we left off from the last tutorial. You can see that he's just putting on the sticker there, and there's not much movement coming from the camera except for a bit of camera shake there. Now what we can do is try and replicate some camera movements if we had a bit more equipment on the day. Say we had a slider, we could replicate some sliding shots. What we're going to do that, how we're going to do that is when we're selected on our single clip here, just like that. If we're up in effects controls, we'll have this drop down here. If you're not selected on it, it'll be nothing there, so make sure you're selected on that one. If we drop down motion, now in motion we got some parameters here we can play around with. All these, you can see there, the positions, they're all slidable. If you ever need to undo anything, if you want to go back in case you've messed up, the keyboard shortcut is Command Z or Control Z if you're on PC. Okay, to the right here you got this little blue line. This here is the lifetime of our clip down here. So just to show you, if I just added this one in there, you can see that this is a lot longer, but when we use this, it's actually the length of our shot at the bottom there. Okay, so we're going to be doing a very, very slight camera zoom in, or maybe we'll do a slide as well. It's going to be replicated, so it's not going to look as good as if we did it by camera. But what we're going to do is going to use these keyframes here. Now a keyframe is a point in the timeline on this clip here where it's going to remember some parameters, and then we're going to edit in between, and it'll remember the final parameter on the last keyframe. So we're going to need 2 keyframes. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get to the beginning of this clip and I'm going to add some keyframes here. So the first thing I need to do is going to decide what type of movement I'm going to use in this shot. Now I know I need to zoom in slightly, and I'm going to do a quick slide from left to right, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Going to press this stopwatch here, toggle animation it comes up with. That's going to give us a keyframe. Just pops up there, you can just see it there. Whilst that's being keyframed, while I'm on it as well, I'm just going to zoom in very slightly. Oh, too much. I'm just going to take it to around 115. Just like that, that's fine. And what I'm going to do, on position, I'm also going to add another keyframe there. And I believe the first number here, that's it. So the first set of parameters here is your left and right. If you take it too far, you're going to go off the screen. So we're going to take it just so that it's just passing the black line there on the left. There we go, just going to leave that there. And now we've got 2 keyframes. We got it on our position and on our scale. We've already changed it, so this is what our shot is going to look like just at the beginning. What I'm going to do then is go ahead, go right across to around there. Okay, so this is where I want to set my second lot of keyframes. So we've got our first ones here, this is where our second one's going to be. So I'm going to move this to the way I wanted it. I'm just going to move it to the right until we hit the black line there, just before the black line, around about that. And I might zoom out slightly actually. Zoom out slightly and just readjust that black line to around there. Now we have just slight subtle movements when we're going to play through this. I'll show you what it looks like. If I press play from there, it doesn't look like much, but there is a slight subtle movement. I'll show you without. Oh. So this was it before. And this was it after, from the beginning. It's just following him slightly more to replicate some camera movement there. Let me just get rid of this one. No need for him to be there. Just going to do a very quick zoom in to show you what a zoom in looks like. Just going to delete these, don't need these ones. Go back to normal. Again, we're going to go from the beginning. I think this time we will stay out and we will actually slowly zoom in into the area that we want. So we don't need to keyframe, or we will keyframe our position. We leave it keyframed, and we're going to keep that there. Now, a keyframe will only turn up when you move a parameter. So as soon as I change this a little bit, one will turn up there. Do you see it? Keep an eye here. As soon as I change a number, it's going to turn up. Now, if you didn't want to change the number and you wanted to still add the keyframe, the easiest way to do it is press these buttons here. This is going to add your keyframe. So I'm going to add one there, I'm going to add one there. Now I've added them without any changes in the parameters at all. So now we've got our first ones there. We're going to head over to the end of it, just before the end of the clip. This time I'm going to zoom in. Oh, there we go. Jump slightly. This time I'll go in quite far. Go around 130. And you're going to change our position. Oh, careful of that black line. Bring him up slightly. Careful of that black line. And then we're going to leave it there. Now this looks like this. Almost looks like we're walking with the camera, but the camera's actually not moving at all, except for the camera shake. But it's just a small little zoom in. You can see what that looks like. I'll take these ones off, so you can see what it looked like before. And then with them back on, you can see that we're definitely zoomed in quite close. It's quite a nice movement there as well. I quite like that one. Okay, cool. Just to cover the rest of the parameters here. Okay, I'm guessing you wouldn't want to use the majority of them, but just to show you what they do. So we've used our position, we've used our scale. Rotation is just to rotate the shot. If you go back to this one, just to rotate the shot. Whether you'll actually need to use it, hardly ever. But that's there if you need it. We have got an anchor point as well. Now an anchor point is where you'd rotate from. So right now there's an imaginary dot on the clip. I'm going to put it right there. Now if I rotate it here, it's going to rotate from that anchor point. Now again, you probably will never use this, but it's there if you ever need it. And again, we got anti-flicker. We haven't got much flicker in this shot anyway, so you wouldn't really see it. And then the opacity. Let me just move this back. Oops. And then the opacity. It's better if I show you if there's something underneath it. So if I just grab this shot, I'm just going to put this on top. I'm just going to mute this layer here. Bring these back here. Okay. Oh, wow. That looks quite funky. I quite like that. I'm going to click on this one here. I'm going to move this shot back where it's meant to be, just like that. Now, with the opacity, going back to this, now we've got one shot above the other. I can scroll through here, see the percentage, and you'll see how that works. Around about there. Oh, it keeps moving. Just going to delete that one. There we go. So you can use the opacity and have some sort of see-through effect there, and some transparency, just like that. Could be an effect that you're looking for, and automatically, because that clip ends, it goes to this, the one underneath. So if that's something you're looking for, that's always there as well. Hope this tutorial helped you. Now you know some of the parameters, now you know some of the motions you can do to the shots, and I will see you in the next one when we cover a little bit more. This time we're going to add some audio, some background music.